We tried for months and months to get this dialed in, and finally the worlds aligned and we got Nick Hanson on the show. I'm super excited for you guys to listen to this episode. This is one of my really good friends. He's an athlete. He's a great speaker. But you know what? I'm just going to let him tell the story, so cue the intro. The fact of the matter is, whether you've been in network marketing for years or just a few days, your family and friends have seen your opportunity and your phone is, as we call it, burnt. If you're anything like me, that's a scary thought. So the big question is, how do entrepreneurs like us, who love the network marketing profession, who no longer want to be that guy, and are tired of convincing people during uncomfortable let's get coffee meetings where they say, what's this all about? How do we market in a way that aligns us with our dream clients and expands our network of upfront and transparent professionals, allowing us to get our time back, our families back, and gain a real passive asset? People like us who value impact over income, we deserve to see our visions once and for all. Join me in this podcast where we'll uncover just how to do that. My name is Eric Sablon. Welcome to Burnt Phone Marketing. All right, guys, welcome Nick Hanson to the show. Welcome, Nick.
Awesome. It's good to see you, Eric. Thanks so much for having me, man.
Dude, it's so awesome, man. Too bad we missed Grad Blast this year, but we're going to catch up right now. We're going to catch up what we missed on Grad Blast right now. So if you guys don't know who Nick is, actually, you know what? I'm just going to actually ask him a little bit about his backstory and how he got started in Ninja. And then we'll go right into how he got started and what his big thing is with his speaking, because he's out everywhere. So Nick, a little bit about your backstory. I know you've told. I know I've heard this story a lot, but I don't think the audience has heard it. But a little bit about your backstory on how you got started in Ninja, and a little bit about where you came from, because you came from a village in Alaska.
Yeah. So, yep. I'm born and raised Alaska native. I'm half Inupiaq and half mixed European. Whatever. My dad is a little bit Italian, Scottish, and then something else mixed in there, I'm sure. So I definitely have that half breed look about me, and so I started on American Ninja Warrior for the first season. That was 6 years ago now. Holy smokes. I can't believe it's been 6 years. But I've been competing on the show for 6 seasons. And, Ninja Warrior was never something that I ever thought was even going to be an option. Like, I never even thought about what Ninja Warrior was until an 8th grader in my village of Unalakleet told me about it. Like, it was literally an 8th grader at the time. Obviously, he's a graduate now. He graduated high school this last year. At the time he was an 8th grader, and he was like, hey, I saw the show. It's called American Ninja Warrior, and I think you'd be good at it. You should try out. And, there's only 750 people in my whole town. So when someone says you're going to be good at something, you kind of just go with the flow. And I went with the flow, dude. And next thing you know, I'm on this crazy show, and I'm standing around, and I'm in this holding area with a bunch of other ninjas, and there's like 150 of us down there in Venice Beach, California, and it's just out in the wide middle open, and I'm just tripping. Like, I can't believe, what am I doing here? I'm here to compete on this challenge on this TV show, but also I'm going to be on national TV. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, this is my chance to shine. And I failed miserably. I mean, I went down on the 5th obstacle. I was 31st out of the top 30 they take by 0.3 of a second. And it was the start of something that became a journey of life that I never expected.
That's so funny that somebody else decided, like, hey, you'd be good at this. And a lot of times all someone has to do is say, hey, you'd be good at this, a little bit of belief. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm all in, I can do this. So, like, that's amazing that an 8th grader basically, I don't know, 7 years ago turned your life around and literally has changed the trajectory of everything you do. I mean, you're on TV now. We've been to Vegas together a couple times. Yep. So, like, that being said, what would be like your, like, someone that's like, I'm not good at this, or I'm not really good at that, or, I don't have the belief in myself. What would be like your, like, push because someone else believed in you and you took it to the next level? Now, you're a unique individual, but what would be like your your push sentence or something like that that would push them, because you're a motivational speaker. So a guy comes in to you and says, I'm just not good at that, or I don't believe in myself, or I don't have the support. Like, what would you give the audience to that person sitting in the room right now saying, what, I'm not as good as I think I should be?
You said it real briefly, but people say this a lot about me, and they tell me this, and they say, you're a unique individual. And they tell me, oh, you're capable of this because you have the capacity in your mind or whatever. I'm not unique in any way whatsoever. I'm just me. I'm just Nick Hanson. I'm just a kid from a village. All I did was, someone said to try, and all I did was try. That's all I did. All I did was, say, okay. I said yes to something that seemed, why not? What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is they say no. You go to a bank, you ask for a loan, and the worst that can happen is they say no. You just don't get that loan, obviously. So now you're just gonna have to, well, I guess I'm stuck in this apartment still until I can, get my house that I'm looking for and pay that mortgage, whatever it might be. You know what I mean? So anybody that's in any kind of latitude of life, it's just a matter of taking that chance on yourself and putting that confidence in yourself. The best part about it, though, was I did have that support system. I had that support system that was an 8th grader, and that was somebody that I was motivated by because I spend my whole days motivating them. So I felt like it was my need to give back. I had a purpose to give back, and that purpose is what really drove my ability to be able to accomplish the goals that I've done since I first got on American Ninja Warrior. I mean, I became one of the top 12 ninjas one year. I was literally in the top 0.01% of ninjas one year. So to be able to accomplish that, all I really did was try something new and fun and what I thought might be cool. And, if I were to say, what can you say in one word or one sentence or one speech to a group of people that you're standing in front of? The real foundation for what made me understand that, okay, if I try this, I have nothing to lose. How do you have that I have nothing to lose mentality? The foundation for that is knowing who you are. The foundation for that is knowing who you are, where you come from, that you're not going to lose anything if you go for this big move. You know what I mean? Obviously, you go skydiving, you're jumping out of an airplane. There's definitely something you could lose. That chute might not open. But if it's something like trying out American Ninja Warrior or going and running a marathon or, doing a triathlon or a half marathon or something along those lines, maybe you're applying for a new job because you're not really enjoying the job that you have, but you wanted to try something fresh. You still have that job that you have. You just want to try something new. It's just a matter of saying, look, I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. And as long as I show that to people, they're going to respect me for who I am and understand that. So that's really the foundation that's given me the, ability to do what I do every single day. And if there was something that I wanted to tell somebody in a room, that's what I would tell them is know who you are, be confident in that and understand it. You are capable of doing this. You are definitely capable of doing it. It's just a matter of you knowing it. So know it, own it, and take it to the next level, because that's all it takes.
So I've been on a bunch of talks with Nick. We do something called Grad Blast, and we go out and talk to a bunch of young Alaskan Native students. Well, we go all over Alaska and talk to some students, and he's really turned that know who you are speech into something that's so dynamic, has great stories behind it, and literally gets the audience on edge. I mean, you see these students, you see these kids. I mean, I've traveled with him, and it's so funny because people will just be like, "You're that guy." And he's like, "Yeah, I know, I'm that guy. Nick, right?" And then he's like, "Yeah, can I get a picture?" And then it's always like, I'm flying with him, so he's like, "Hey, can you take my picture?" So it's actually super funny to see how that all has evolved. How has being on TV and the fame and all, how is that like? Because you're a local celebrity, you're on TV all the time. You have some really good sponsors. How has that affected out? The reason why I'm asking this question is because I was actually at an event with Nick, and his girlfriend Joanne said, "I don't know what the deal is. It's just Nick." It always sticks with me. She shakes her head. She's like, "I don't understand. This is just Nick. What's wrong with these people?" So how has that kind of affected like you personally and I mean financially? I'm sure it's helped out a little bit, but really personally, how is that like? I'm sure it's boosted confidence and helped you substantially.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like my confidence and everything goes, I would say, who I was before is the person I am now. I've never changed. I've never wavered. I've never allowed like quote unquote fame and fortune to, distract me from who Nick Hanson really is. I've never tried to like hike up prices because I have a brand now. I've never tried to like sell my t-shirts for an extra $5 because it's got my logo on the front. I'm not trying to do that. I have 19% off of my t-shirt sales because of COVID-19 right now. So I'm just trying to help people out. If they want to wear my shirt, then cool. I mean, whatever. And then at the same time, like as far as going through like a mall or going to, well, now it's a little bit harder with COVID, but as far as like, before COVID hit, when I was going through a mall or going to a basketball tournament or something along those lines, at first, it was like, "Oh, hey, Nick, what up?" And I had a lot of friends that I would bump into, and it'd be like, "Hey, give them a hug," and, and just be like, "Yeah, well, we're going to go get our seats now." And, like you were saying, now it's like me and Joanne walk through a mall, and I can't get through a mall because I'll get stopped at every like 5, stores to take a picture with somebody or to, to do, hey, can you do a backflip? Or, they'll do some ask me, "Can you hang off of that? How many pull-ups can you do?" And they'll ask me a bunch of questions. And, the reality of it is I understand where they're coming from. Think about this. Like if Johnny Depp, I mean, we're talking Iron Man, comes walking through the door, you're not going to want to miss that opportunity to take a picture with Johnny Depp. He is Jack Sparrow. He is, you know what I mean? Or not Iron Man. Sorry, I'm talking about totally different guy. He is Jack Sparrow, though. Johnny Depp is Jack Sparrow. He is Edward Scissorhands. He is the guy. Why would you not miss that opportunity to take a picture with a legend? Now, I'm not putting myself on the same level as Johnny Depp by any means whatsoever. Although the beard is getting close with this whole quarantine.
It is getting close. I think you're gonna shoot that one off again for Halloween, huh?
Yeah, if we can braid it, we'll get it going. No, but I'm just saying, like, he is Jack Sparrow, and why would you not take that opportunity to take a picture with him or to ask him, a very genuine question? Obviously the only thing that holds me back from doing something like that is the fact that he's got his own life. He's got his own world he's living in. If the opportunity presented itself in a good way, then I would say, yeah, of course. But I also understand, like, that would be my opportunity. I love Jack Sparrow. I love Johnny Depp. I love, all of his movies that he's done in the past. And I would not want to miss that opportunity. So, you want to take those opportunities when they come. So when a kid that's a fan of American Ninja Warrior that says, "Oh my gosh, it's the Eskimo Ninja. Like, he's right there. Aren't you friends with Grant the Island Ninja?" My shirt right now. Like, do you know Drew Dressel? Like, they just want to ask me questions. My moment in that moment is not about me. It's not about Joanne. It's not about the shopping that I had to do. It's about the kid that really wants to understand what Ninja Warrior is, because it was that kid and it is that kid that motivates me every single day to continue to compete. It is that kid that motivates me every single day to continue to lead a positive and healthy lifestyle choice. It's those kids and those children and those moms and those parents that motivate me every single day to continue to do what I'm doing. And those are really what matter to me the most. I don't care about dollar amounts. I don't care about winning. I don't care about how much shirt sales I have. I don't care about any of that stuff. I would give them away. You know what I mean? It costs something to make them. So I just, at least as long as I come out even, I'm fine. Those are the kinds of things that I think about, because if that was the moment that I said to that kid, you could be the next American Ninja Warrior. And then 10 years down the road, when he turns 18, he applies for the show and he gets on the show. And next thing you know, he is the next Alaskan Ninja Warrior. Then my life is complete. I feel like my life, I fulfilled everything God put me on this planet to do. And, so if that moment, if that 15, 20 seconds, maybe a minute of my life changes the rest of that kid's life or the rest of that person's life that I happen to impact, then that was 1 minute of my life that I don't know how to explain it. That's it. It's fulfillment to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, can you tell how humble he is? He's super humble. I mean, like he'll do what he says. But one thing that I noticed is the same opportunity that 8th grader gave you in a different perspective, you're giving back to every single one of your fans. Like the belief in, you know what, if you're going to be, you could be the next Ninja Warrior. You could be the next this. And I mean, it's funny how it's coming 360 all the way, totally around, just because you're humble and that's what you do. That's yeah. Wow. So we did a bunch of events, and I know COVID's going on right now. We talked earlier, you're doing something now because you do a lot of motivational speaking. You speak to a lot of the kids. You really talk to, from what I've seen, is you really talk to like the Alaska natives. You really talk to the native community as in a whole, like just native period. What are you doing right now since COVID's really taken over? I know that we can't go out and do these big events that we used to do. The state fair was canceled, and that was a big deal for you. What are you doing now? I mean, like you said something about virtual visits, kind of like what we're doing right now. But what are you doing? What's the virtual visits? Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So, this last, the last March, April, May, last 3 months of school were canceled in Alaska, basically. Basically it was just shut down. And during those last 3 months of school, we were supposed to travel out to villages together, and we were supposed to go and do some things. I was supposed to travel up to like Barrow and travel to all the different up north Alaska native villages and do Native Youth Olympics with them, which is the native games that we compete in. I was also going to do some Ninja Warrior stuff, but then also, connect with them on a personal level and really show them that they can make positive, healthy lifestyle choices. And even though they come from a village and they're Alaska native, they're just like me. I'm come from a village of 750 people, and I'm Alaska native, just like them. So, that's really why I want to try to connect with those kids, because I've witnessed it. I've witnessed the struggle that Alaskan villages have, and I've seen it happening. So I want to be that role model that they can have, the one that they can look up to, because in Alaskan villages, there's a lot of struggle with alcoholism. There's a lot of struggle with just being completely disconnected. I mean, we're 380 miles away from the nearest city. So internet connectivity is not the greatest out there. GCI is doing their best, but they're the only provider. They're the only one out there. They're the only one willing to take that chance on all of us Alaska native villages. So they're really the ones that are stepping up to the plate. So they have to limit it as much as they can, and things like this and that and the other thing. So internet capabilities and connectivity and trying to stay up on the latest trends, whatever it might be, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever. Those are the things that we just don't have access to. So one thing I do have access to is travel, and I can travel to all of those villages. And now with COVID, I mean, literally 15-day trips were canceled. We were probably going to be gone for at least a week, going to different communities. And, those different communities are now suffering, from me not being able to come out there and say, hey, I know school's almost over, but don't forget during the summer, you got to be staying focused. You've got to be ready to look out for your goals. You got to set goals for yourself and do things that are positive throughout the summer so that you don't fall into a rut where you can't come back to school next season. And so instead of getting all on those trips, I talked to that Barrow trip. It was going to be a 15-day trip. I was going to be traveling to all the different communities, spending at least a day and a half in each community, coaching and teaching. And we were like, what do we do now? And I just said, well, why don't we just do Zoom? Why don't we do like Google Meets, Google Hangouts, or why don't we do Teams? Whatever, what can we do? How can we overcome this challenge? Maybe I'll go on the radio and do radio ads. I'm not sure what we can do, but let's try to make something happen, because I don't care about, all I care about is connecting with the kids.
Right.
So we did it. We did these, what we called virtual visits. I went to every school, quote unquote, every school, and I did Facebook Lives on their Facebook pages. I did Zoom meetings just like this, where we had, 30 or 40 kids tuned in on their parents' internet. Some of them were tuned in Facebook Live through their teacher's internet, Zoom connected to me. I mean, we did everything possible to try to get these virtual visits done. And afterwards, the superintendent calls me and she said, "That was amazing. It turned out so good." And we had no expectations whatsoever. We thought it was going to be like, oh my gosh, maybe they won't have internet connectivity. Maybe we'll get maybe 5 people on this page, this town, 5 people on this town. We had the entire community coming out. Anaktuvuk Pass had 60 people show up. And that's a small town with limited internet. I mean, like 60 people of their villages showed up on Facebook Live. Comments are popping off. I'm trying to read. I'm like, hit the heart button. Hearts are like flying like crazy on the Facebook Live. And all I did was go out there, and instead of taking my speech and trying to throw a speech and talk at them, I turned it into a conversation. I turned it into an opportunity for them to, hey, how are you feeling today? How are you dealing with COVID? And they would type in the comment section or type in the, chat box, and I would turn it into a dialogue. And these virtual visits turned into something that became a lot more personal. And even though we were so far away from each other, like you and I now, we're not in the same room. We're doing this through Zoom. It became so personal that they became family. They felt like they were part of my life, which they are, because every single day I think about them when I'm training, and I think back to The Greatest Showman, Hugh Jackman singing his song. He's thinking, I remember who all this was for. You know what I mean? Like I sing that song to myself, and I just go, that's why I do this. This is why I'm here. So, overcoming that challenge and adapting to the new world that we live in is something that we have to do as Alaska Native people. And virtual visits is one of those ways that I've done it. So I've downloaded all the possible things. I've got accounts with Teams, Google Hangouts, Zoom, just so that I can have that opportunity in case someone wants to have me come to their school, come to their conference, come to their meetings, and just kind of hype up. Maybe I'm just going to break into a meeting for 5 minutes and just be like, hey, you guys, how's it going? Yeah, I'm totally not going to talk about anything that involves numbers or graphs or analogs. Let's just talk about life and just remember, why you guys are so important. And those are the kinds of things that I've been doing. And it's been a blast. I've done a few different things, and, trying to come up with a financial number that works best is definitely a difficult situation. You're really good at those kinds of things, and having, how to market a virtual visit rather than have me come out to your community and build a warp wall. Obviously come out to your community and build a warp wall sounds amazing. Let's talk through a computer screen doesn't necessarily sound as amazing, but, just understanding that we still can make a difference by, doing podcasts like these that have inspired me to, make better financial choices and better business choices in my life.
Yeah. And what I like about that is you've literally adapted to what's going on right now. And, it's a whole new world. I think a lot of training and a lot of speaking and a lot of engagements honestly have opened up, because you can get more people into a room in a more comfortable situation. And yes, the financial side of it for the consumer is a lot cheaper also, because they're not paying for airfare, they're not paying to fly you in, they're not paying for them to go to the event, they're not paying for the hotel, but they're getting the content. And what I love about what you said was the content was more personable, because people at events sometimes check out.
Yeah.
But if you're in a room with a Zoom where you could actually interact, like you could raise your hand and say, hey, Nick, I got a question. This happened. What would you do? Like, it's actually come to a different type of learning, I think, because, we've already know that people kind of hide behind this computer screen, but with the video and being able to ask a question real quick, you're in your own like area. You can feel comfortable, and if your question is not that good or not that bad, you just like turn off your camera for a minute. I can mute yourself. So
there is no bad question though. There is no bad question. Ask it.
We've been to a couple of events where they ask you some really, really outlandish stuff, and you're like, good question. That's probably not a good idea. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, we're not going to go there for sure. But, the other thing, too, is you said personable. And, I mean, like, look at your backdrop. I mean, that picture in the background behind you, that's amazing. You know what I mean? I can easily just drop in and be like, hey, Eric. And let's say there's 30 of us on this Zoom meeting right now. And I just like, hey, Eric, I just noticed there's like a bridge in the background on your photo. What's that picture of? You know what I mean? And then now all of a sudden they're turning around. They're going like, wait, what? Oh yeah, I forgot. He's in my house. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's, that changes the dynamic of it so much.
Yeah, I think Zoom. I really think these kind of meetings are gonna be a new learning platform for everybody. And what's cool about that is it's going to give a lot more people the opportunity to become more marketable in the speaking and the teaching realm, because the platform is available, and people just need to get in front of it and absorb it and understand that, like you said, you were 1% of the ninjas. Like 5% of the world is consuming content like this. 5 months ago, 75% of if you just look at like even the commercials, they look exactly like this. A lot of commercials are talking about Zoom and little pictures that are not perfectly set up, and the backdrops aren't there's no green screens. It's like their living room. So I think what's happening is a really good transition to this type of learning environment, and I'm glad you're in front of it with these virtual visits. That's a home run. Imagine if you could hit the Tony Robbins mark like he did. He killed it. But yeah. That's awesome. So I want to jump into one of the questions that I always ask. It's you've been I know this question. I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to let the audience hear it. So you're at the biggest stage that you wanted to speak at. You're maybe at the top of Mount Midoriyama. You're at the commencement speech at some huge college, or doing something. Biggest stage that you've ever been on, and you're keynoting. So you're Sunday afternoon keynoting. You're like the reason why people came. Yeah, as if you go to an event, the Sunday afternoon speaker is the speaker. Yeah. So you're at that event. There's 100,000 people in the room. You just get done speaking. Everyone stands up, turns around, sees your image because you were highlighted why they were coming. What's the one phrase that you want everybody to think of when they think of Nick Hanson?
Know who you are.
Yeah, I knew the answer.
Simple, dude. Know who you are. I've been preaching it, and I've been saying it to kids for years. I've been saying it to, I went to a conference with you actually, with your company actually, in Seattle, and it was a bunch of old guys and girls out there, and it wasn't just young kids anymore. And, obviously the speech wasn't as PG. It was a lot more in depth. It was more real, because I understood that, the adults can handle it, and some of the adults couldn't handle it. Some of the things that I was sharing, they had a rough time getting through it. And when they came up to me afterwards, they said, hey, that was very powerful. And it was a business conference, and I got very personal in a business conference, and so when I'm sharing my speech and I'm sharing my stories, of how I've grown up and how I've lived, it's really about, it's an open book. When I get on stage and I start talking, or if I'm in a virtual visit with kids or parents or a company, it's because I'm just going to get real with them. And they're, you know, the real truth behind it is the fact that it's true. And that's what really makes it so much more, to me, you know, it feels like the affirmation becomes more impactful because moms will come up to me and start, you know, in tears, and parents that, you know, businessmen that are parents will understand the connection that I have with them, even though I'm not their kid, but really I'm emulating their kid. I am their kid because of who I am. And, you know, ultimately all of those things, the reason why I'm able to get on stage and not have any shame, the reason why I'm able to make them laugh every now and then is because I'm just very real, and I know who I am, and I know where I come from. You know, Uvanganik ilurutiak Hanson, you know, inupiakurunga unalaklimen utkiavig minlu Alaskami. You know, I catch their mind. I walk up on stage, look at me. My skin color doesn't scream I'm Alaskan Native. I start speaking in Inupiaq, and I tell you what, people's jaws drop. They're like, wait, what? You know, the people that are tuned out, like you said, they're on their phone tuned out right away. Oh, great, another keynote speaker. Rah, rah, rah. And then I go, Uvanganik ilurutiak Hanson. They go, what is this? You know, and then you just bust out in Inupiaq and you start speaking, and then they go, who is this guy? Then now you've got them clenched, you know, you got them hooked. And knowing who I am, that's really the catch. And then teaching them that is really the drive home. So, you know, being able to connect that right away and to share that with people, you know, that's the most valuable thing that we have. To me, that's the most valuable thing we can know. And that's who we are, where we come from, and not just like your name. You're not just Eric Sublon. You are the, you know, you are the son of your mom and dad. You are the grandson of your grandparents. You are the descendant of such ancestors, you know. So, you know, understanding that and having that foundation it's invaluable.
The lineage, understanding the lineage.
Yeah.
So I want to bring this really quick back to marketing, because this is a marketing podcast. But I just want to ask the audience, like, when I asked Nick that question, he knew exactly what his call sign was, his title of liberty, the people that he was fighting against. He knew exactly what he wanted to convey to the audience. It was like not even thinking about it. He knew exactly what it was. So when you get that focused on your marketing, and that focus on what you're selling and how you're selling it and why you're selling it and who you're helping, and you have your avatar, the person that you're selling to, when you have it that defined and you can say it in a concise sentence like that, that's when your marketing blows up. That's when you're talking to the right people, and that's when you know that you know who you are and why you're doing what you're doing. So
yep.
Thank you, Nick. That's huge. That rolls right back into the marketing that we do all the time.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like knowing who you are, Eric. And I'm just gonna, you know, audience, I'm gonna talk about Eric for a little bit and gloat, because Eric is really doing it right. But the one thing that Eric does is he's very genuine. And he's very genuine with you as a consumer. He's very genuine with me as a consumer, or my dad, for instance, because my dad owns a restaurant and he's got a little bit of retail on the side. So Eric's being very genuine with him. He's saying, hey, look, this is the way it is. This is what we're doing, and this is what we're trying to accomplish. And when you're genuine like that, it's obvious that it's coming from a place of strong foundation. Eric knows exactly what he's got. He knows exactly what he's trying to get, and he knows exactly where he's trying to go with it. And so when you understand all of those things from a marketing standpoint, it's so easy to just grow and to have exponential growth, because when you type in an email and someone says, to whom it may concern, I'm already tuned out. I'm already like, what is this? Some sort of automated junk? But when it says, hey, this is Eric, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, hey, this is Eric. You know what I mean? And that's what you get when you talk to Eric. That's what you get when you're chatting with them. So, and that's whether you're at a business meeting, that's whether you're at sushi, that's whether you get genuine Eric. And, that's what I try to convey every time I'm on stage is you get genuine Nick. No matter what time you get me, whether I'm on American Ninja Warrior in an interview with Matt and Akbar, whether I'm at home talking to you on the phone, and whether I'm in the street walking past you and you happen to bump into me and all you wanted to do was say, hey, you're going to get genuine Nick. And as long as you guys portray genuine you, and you know that, you're going to see growth and expansion in very positive ways.
Well, first off, I want to say thank you for the amazing comments. I mean, compliments. I mean, that's huge. That really hits me hard. So yeah, thank you very much. And it's totally the same thing that I feel about you. I mean, when we go places, it's like you can see the humbleness and the generosity and everything that you have. And I look forward to, you know, delivering all of the stuff to your dad and helping your dad out for sure. That's, you know, that's one thing that I know I'm going to take care of. But yeah, thank you for that. And guys, like, be genuine. If you're genuine, you don't have to worry about like making sure that it's easy to stay genuine. If you're
Yep.
not genuine, it's hard to stay not genuine. I mean, you just keep
Yep.
band-aid over band-aid over band-aid over band-aid. So Nick, you have an amazing social media platform. I mean, you have amazing social, like your Instagram blows up, you know, people follow you. You know, because this is marketing, you know, what is like, can you give the audience like 2 nuggets to like, I mean, you don't grow your following from 0 to 100,000 and get the little star next to your name overnight, but it's taken you a while. It's taken Grant a while.
Yeah.
What would you give the audience, like a couple nuggets that you give them, like, I mean, besides consistency, because consistency is going to help you all the way around, but you know, what would be some nuggets that you give the audience to help them like grow their social media platform?
Yeah, I mean, and you know, that's one of the things that's really big right now. You got a TikTok or an Instagram or Snapchat, and you're trying to get on that discovery page. You're trying to get on things, you know, those are definitely things that every social media influencer, if that's where your goal is, or just any kind of social media in general, you're always trying to get that cool photo of your acai bowl. You're always trying to get the, you know, the cool picture on top of the mountain with the hike, and it looks like you're standing on a cliff, but you're not, you know what I mean? You know, those are the kinds of things that we're all trying to accomplish through social media. We all want to, you know, we emulate those, you know, we do emulate those 2.4 million followers or the 150,000 follower guys or gals that are doing really cool things and really awesome stuff like Zach King or Modern Tarzan or Jesse Graff. And, you know, the nuggets that I would have is, I'm not the overnight success. I'm not the goofball viral video. I come from a place where I know what my demographic is, and I make sure that my followers, the genuine followers that I do have, you know, I keep posting stuff that they're going to enjoy. So I have about 50,000 followers over the course of all of my different social media accounts, and through all of my social media accounts, those 50,000 followers have been very organic. It's taken about, you know, 6 years to get to that point. My Instagram is still only at 33.8. But one thing that Grant McCartney said, who's the Island Ninja, he has 105,000 followers, but he knows that only maybe 60,000 of them actually might maybe care. And maybe the 30,000 of them that do care actually genuinely care about what he's posting. The other ones are just watching it because they're told to on social media, because that's what Instagram puts in their face, right? So he says, you know, yeah, you only have 33.8 thousand followers, but in your case, it's not about the numbers. It's the fact that 33.8 of those followers, thousand of those followers are actually there to watch what you're doing. Because
Right.
my comments jump out about the same amount of numbers, unless I'm doing a giveaway, then the numbers jump up like 10,000 points. But you know, I post to my demographic, and I understand what my demographic is, and that is Alaskan Ninja. I'm an American Ninja Warrior, but I'm the Eskimo Ninja, therefore I'm Alaskan. So I like to post things that I'm doing, like Ninja Warrior training, that is Alaskan style, you know what I mean? And I post those things. And then sometimes I go urban, and it's a great mix up. It's a great change up. Like, oh, look at the Eskimo in the urban life, you know? So as long as I continue to post that and understand what my demographic is, you know, I cater to them, and I make sure that I do those things. So that's definitely one of the nuggets, is just understand who your demographic is. The other nugget that I have is who are you trying to be? You know what I mean? are you trying to be that fake poser that puts a heart around the sunset and like just wants that thing to go viral? Or are you wanting to post content that is, you know, cool and really funny and really fun and something that you want, you know, people to just enjoy? Not necessarily you're trying to get the likes or the followers or the love. You just want to post something that people enjoy. I think that the Alaska Life does a really good job at this. I don't know if you follow them, but it's called, their Instagram account is The Alaska Life. And what they post is really cool videos of moose and really cool videos of bears, and people will go out and on their hikes, they'll film them and they'll send them to the Alaska Life, and the Alaska Life reposts them and then tags the person that did it. And it's a lot of reposts. It's a lot of, you know, he's a great photographer too and videographer, so he posts his own stuff, but he also posts really cool captures that are candid from other people. And that's what he does. He doesn't stray from that. I've tagged the Alaska Life in 1,000 of my posts. And all of my stuff is Eskimo Ninja. It's not wildlife. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm kind of wild in my own way, right? But it's not like wildlife stuff. So he said he's liked them and he's like, this is a really cool post, but it's not my style. And so he has a very genuine style about his Instagram. And so do I. I have a very, you know, genuine style about my Instagram. So when you're posting and you want people to come back to your page, you know, you want your page to be about what you want your page to be about. You see what I'm saying? And that's kind of hard because sometimes you'll see a great meme and you're like, oh, I'll post that on my Instagram page. And then the next page will be a really cool shot of you on top of a mountain holding your coffee because you drank coffee on the way up to your hike because it was a casual 3,000 foot hike for you. You know what I mean? Like that's like so sick. But then the next post is a meme about some dog that's smiling because of the, you know, the vacuum's blowing in his face. You know what I mean? Like that inconsistency is what drives followers away from your page. They're coming to your page to see that hike with the coffee. That's amazing. They're not coming to see the same thing they saw on TikTok 5 minutes ago. So that's the kind of stuff that, you know, you want to make sure that if you're trying to create a genuine following on your page that are, you know, post the stuff that is, you know, post consistently, of course, but post the stuff that, you know, you really want your page to be about and what you want people to see through your Instagram. And for me, that's, you know, how does the Eskimo Ninja train and what does the Eskimo Ninja do, you know, when he's out about traveling out in the, you know, all over the place. And yesterday it was flat top, you know, hanging sideways off the flag at the top of flat top here in Alaska, you know, American flag, American Ninja, Native American Ninja flag. You know what I mean? Like it all came together. So that's the kind of stuff that I put up. And, you know, each and every one of us are different. And it comes back to the same positive message. Know who you are and know what you want.
It's funny. I was going to put a bow on it and literally say that all of that content is know who you are. Like when your page is, so I'm going to go back to like two things, 38,000 followers that you have, but they're real followers.
Yeah.
And I always, in my trainings, when we're talking about marketing, I always say you have 5,000 followers on your Facebook page. You want them to be 5,000 raving fans.
Yep.
That's all you want. And you honestly, you only need 1/5 of those. You only need 20% of those, a good 1,000 followers on your Facebook page that actually are raving fans, and you'll be just fine. Trust me. Yep. You'll get the likes, you'll get the hearts, you'll get the interactions. But, you know, I love what you do. Like everything revolves around that one phrase, know who you are, which is a big deal. And it's so humble, so true, man. We're coming up on an hour, and I told you I'd be an hour, so I'm gonna run on an hour. It's cool. I'm gonna run on an hour, and I just wanted to say, man, I know we've been trying to get this interview done for a long time. I just wanted to say thank you for like jumping on and just dropping some nuggets, guys. This is a little different. This isn't like marketing bombs or sales bombs or anything like that. But I want you to realize if you take what he said on his marketing message and who he is and where he comes from and like intrinsically understand that if you have a marketing message that is your North Star, like it's like know who you are is his North Star, you're not going to fade, and your marketing is going to be so much easier. And marketing leads to sales, which leads to revenue. So just know that if your marketing message is on point, your sales message should aim to that North Star, and your profitability is going to aim to that North Star also. So, man, Nick, thanks for jumping on. Is there any last words you got for the audience? And again, thank you for the amazing words that you said about me. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, I just heard you saying something, and it popped an idea in my head. Those 1,000 people or 5,000 people that really genuinely are there for you as a raving fan are going to tell other people about you. So if you're looking for those numbers to jump up, the genuine humility, or whatever you are calling it and describing it as, just being genuine with who you are and understanding that, and continuing to post that kind of thing on your social media, it's gonna drive up high. So you guys are awesome, and all of you guys that are watching this podcast, you are in a very great place. You're going to be learning from someone that is very good at what he does, and take every single piece of advice that you can and learn as much as you possibly can, because the more that we listen, the more that we learn, the better off we're going to be, because we have that much more tools, that many more tools in our arsenal to pull from when we're doing things like trying to become successful. And you guys all have that capability, and I know that it's possible. So thank you, Eric, so much for having me, dude. I'm so stoked, and I'm glad we finally got to do it, and we have to go get sushi. I'm just saying.
Yes, for sure. And thank you. Appreciate it. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Burnful Marketing Radio. Are you tired of those lame Facebook groups that provide no value? Well, our Facebook group is awesome. Go to unlockthefbgroup.com and get access to our Facebook group, where you will be able to find interviews of top network marketers and Q&As where you can jump in and talk to them live. We also have massive training. We provide a bunch of free tools. So jump into that group. Again, that's unlockthefbgroup.com. We'll ask you a few questions in mini chat, because that's what we do, and make sure that you're not a spammer and get you into the group right away. So again, go to unlockthefbgroup.com and don't be a spammer.